What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to episode 13 of Betting the House. As always, we are live on the Alithio Network. Don't forget to check out their other shows like Chicago Hockey Radio, Good Morning Hockey, Let's Cool One, and Not From Chicago But Close Enough. Like always, Thursdays, we're going to be doing some NBA, some college football. I'm sorry, it's Tuesday. NBA, college football, NHL, and a little bit of college basketball. Before we get into our last Thursday's recap, let's get into the gambling warning. The following content may discuss topics related to gambling. Gambling can be addictive and is not suitable for all individuals. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. In the U.S., contact the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org for resources and support. Illinois residents can also contact 1-800-426-2537 for local assistance. Please gamble responsibly and be aware of the risks involved. You must be 21 years or older if gambling in Illinois. All right, without further ado, let's get back to Thursday's recap of the bets. Starting off with Thursday night football over in the NFL, Texans-Jets. I took the under at 42.5 at minus 110 odds. Final score was Jets winning 21-13, hitting the under. Let's go. Off to a great start, 1-0. Sunday, another great showing for most of my bets, all but one, really. 4 bets at noon. Baltimore minus 9.5 at minus 105 odds. Ravens ended up winning 41-10, so that definitely hit. Cincinnati minus 7.5 at minus 105 odds. Bengals win 41-24, so that again definitely hit. The one that didn't, well, let's keep going with the ones that did work. Washington again at noon, minus 3.5 spread at minus 112 odds. They win by 5. Final score 27-22. So that minus 3.5 spread hits. The one game that didn't hit at noon was Buffalo. I forgot who they played. They won on a field goal, winning 30-27. So the minus 6.5 spread did not hit. And then last night's game, I took Kansas City hitting their spread at, again, minus 8.5. Went into overtime, so it automatically was not going to hit. Chiefs win 30-24. Moving over to college football. First two W's right off the back. South Dakota State versus Boise over 57.5 at minus 110 odds. Boise State scores 56, 2 away from hitting it by themselves, just alone. Final score, Boise State wins 56-24. So that over 57.5 definitely hit at minus 110 odds. Second one to hit, Ole Miss minus 6.5, minus 124 odds. Ole Miss definitely beat up on Arkansas. Final score 63-31, so that hit. Third game I had was Penn State, Ohio State. I thought Penn State was going to keep it and hit their spread of plus 4.5 at minus 110 odds, but they end up losing 13-20, narrowly missing that. Fourth college football game I bet on, Florida, Georgia, over 51.5 at minus 110 odds. Hit. Final score, Georgia wins 34-20 with a total score of 54, just over that 51.5 over. And the last game, I had Kansas State hitting their spread of minus 12.5 against Houston. Definitely did not hit. Houston ended up rallying in the fourth quarter, throwing 2 touchdowns after being down by 9, and they end up winning 24-19. It was a tough game to watch. NHL, I went 1-1 in hockey on Thursday night. Blues Flyers under 5.5 at plus 110 odds. Final score, Flyers win 2-1, so that's only 3, definitely well under the 5.5. And my last bet did not hit. It was Boston money line last Thursday. They lost 2-8. Nietzsche's put up 4 points with 3 assists. And I think a couple other people had 2-point nights. So it was a great night for the Hurricanes, but not for Boston. Going Thursday bets, I laid 15 down. I won 10, lost 5. That pushes the new record, a new overall record, to 75 wins and 66 losses. All right. Now that we're done with the recap, let's move on to the today and tomorrow's bets. Let's start off with the NBA. Nothing's going on tonight. So games for the NBA only start again tomorrow. First two, right off the bat, Detroit Pistons, Charlotte Hornets, 6 p.m. Look at the Pistons money line. I thought it was great odds at plus 110, but yeah, if you like it, hit it. If not, you do you. Second 6 p.m. game Wednesday night, Orlando Magic in Indiana taking on the Pacers. I was considering taking the Magic spread of plus 6.5 at minus 115 odds. Despite losing Ben Sherrod injury, I don't think they should be 6.5 point underdogs to the Pistons tomorrow. They've got strong defenders and Suggs and Caldwell Pope to disrupt Indiana's backcourt. Even without them, I think the spread should be closer to a 4.5 point underdog, making this plus 6.5 definitely very appealing to me. Moving over to the 6:30 p.m. game start times, New York Knicks in Atlanta taking on the Hawks. I definitely really was looking at that under 225.5 with minus 110 odds. They're both coming off losses yesterday. Knicks pushed by Thibodeau, shot poorly with little bench support, and now definitely face a Hawks team that they've beaten up on 3 of their 4 last matchups. On the other hand, the 3 and 5 Hawks are struggling. They've only covered the spread once in their 8 games. And with Trae Young missing, with a rib injury, they're going to struggle to keep up, making this under definitely a safer pick. Second 6:30 p.m. game tomorrow night, Warriors-Celtics. I have the Golden State Warriors covering their spread of plus 7.5 at minus 110 odds again. They've been pretty surprising this season. They're 6-1 against the spread, even without Klay Thompson. They're kind of going off with Curry only averaging under 20 points per game and no players logging more than 30 minutes per game. I don't think they can sustain that pace, really, but they're definitely worth watching. Boston, again, also only with 1 loss. Porzingis is out. Brown is definitely listed as day-to-day. Missed last night's game due to a back-to-back. I think they've got a strong enough roster, even without Brown, that they can win. They're definitely favored, but Golden State keeps it close, I think. 3 7 p.m. games, Lakers Grizzlies. Look to take the over on that. That's just my opinion. 228.5 at minus 110 odds. Cavs Pelicans 7 p.m. also. Cleveland minus 7 looked pretty nice. Like a pretty nice spread. Spurs Rockets also 7 p.m. I definitely was staring hungrily at that Houston minus 6 spread right there at minus 112 odds. 2 games at 8 p.m. Thunder Nuggets. Definitely look to take the OKC spread. When I looked, it was minus 4.5 at minus 110 odds. The Thunder just beat the Orlando team shorthanded 102-86, keeping them under 100 points for the 5th time in 7 games. Them being their opponent. Oklahoma definitely has dominated, but they haven't really faced a close game yet, which could really be a test coming up in their future. Denver, on the other hand, beat out Toronto 121-119 last night, barely going over 500. Murray missed the game due to a concussion. He might return tomorrow. Other than that, the Thunder have beaten Denver 4 straight times, holding them under 100 points in the last 3. Yeah, OKC covers minus 4.5. The 3 last games I want to just barely mention. One more at 8 p.m. Heat take on the Suns. Look to see Miami cover their spread of plus 5.5 at minus 110 odds. 2 9 p.m. games. We've got 76ers Clippers in LA. Look to take the over at 219 minus 110 odds. And final game of the night, Raptors Kings, 9 p.m. Look to see Toronto cover their spread of plus 10 at minus 106. Moving over into college football, Tuesday tonight, we've got Bowling Green taking on Central Michigan at 6:30. I am heavily considering the covering the Bowling Green spread at minus 12.5 points at minus 110 odds. They're pushing for a conference title. Central Michigan, on the other hand, without their starting QB, struggling with his backup, Tyler Jefferson. Rough game last week. Given the Bowling Green's solid showings against Penn State and Texas A&M, I'm taking this Bowling Green minus 12.5 spread before it rises again. Second game and last game of tonight, Miami, Ohio takes on Ball State at 7 p.m. I'm heavily debating the over, which was set at 48.5 at minus 105 odds. The Red Hawks aim to stay hot on the road. They've been pretty slow starting against Power 5 teams. They've scored 30 points in 3 straight games, with the over hitting in 4 consecutive games. This also includes that 46-7 win over Central Michigan as a 10.5 point favorite. Ball State, on the other hand, leans heavily towards the over, which is 7-1 for them this season. Their defense definitely struggles. 475 total yards, 40.5 points per game. Only ranked 131st nationally. Even though the unders hit in the last 3 meetings between these two teams, I think Ball State's poor defense kind of makes me lean towards the over a little bit more in this case. 2 games also going on tomorrow. Ohio and Kent State at 6 p.m. and NIU and Western Michigan also at 6 p.m. I thought the Ohio spread at minus 17.5 looked pretty enticing, minus 105 odds. I did not see anything on any betting apps for the second game, NIU versus Western Michigan, also at 6 p.m. So just look out for that. Raven, I know I missed you on the NBA, but anything on college football or the NBA if you want to jump back to that.
For NBA, I'm about to start moaning and complaining about the Bucks still being terrible and not having an identity. Other games in the NBA, don't ask me. I'm not sure. I haven't watched a single other team play this year. For college football, took your advice last week and
it worked out well.
Took the over on a few of the games and parlayed them together and made a quick couple bucks. So might do the same with the Miami Ball State game, but Bowling Green, I don't know. I haven't really heard much of them, so no comment on them.
Yeah, fair enough. It's weird. They were playing like Conference USA games and stuff Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and now they've switched it up to the MAC conference. So it's weird. It's suddenly now we've got different teams than we're used to seeing Tuesday, Wednesday. So it should be fun. Moving over to the NHL, quite a lot of games tonight. We've got Flames Canadiens 6 p.m., Senators Sabres 6 p.m., Bruins Maple Leafs 6 p.m. Look to take the Leafs money line at minus 150 on that one. This next chapter of this own rivalry unfolds tonight. Boston and Toronto. Bruins are coming off 2 shutouts. The Leafs are struggling with consistency and have mostly won on home ice. Boston edged out the Leafs in their last meeting in that overtime win. So Toronto's definitely eager to silence those critics and haters. The Leafs finally scored on the power play in their last game and kind of need that momentum to continue for more wins. Both teams solid defense. Offense has been lacking on both. I'm thinking it's going to be a really, really close matchup, but I think I've got to take the Leafs on the money line. And then last 6 p.m. game, Flyers Hurricanes. I didn't really like any of the odds for this, so I just went straight up Carolina money line at -175. Flyers facing this red hot Hurricanes team, aiming for their 7th straight win. Philadelphia's struggled offensively, 4-7-1 record, while Carolina has been dominating in shots and pressure, especially against teams with high penalty minutes like the Flyers. Extremely strong at home, so I have no worries about Carolina taking care of the Flyers in regulation. 6:30 game, Penguins Islanders. Look out for that. Sid the Kid's going to be playing, I believe. Lightning Blues, 7 p.m. start time, same as Kings and Wild. Last 7 p.m. game I want to talk about, the Hockey Club taking on the Jets. I have the Jets covering their spread, -1.5 goals, +125 odds. Winnipeg has won its last 4 by 2 or more goals and completely dominates Utah in offense, defense, and goaltending. They rank higher in goals, power play, defense, expected goals, and with Connor Hellebuyck in net and home advantage, I think they're an easy to cover this, -1.5. 8 p.m. game, Kraken Avs, Ducks Canucks, 9 p.m. and Blue Jackets Sharks, 9:30 p.m. Over on Wednesday, there's only 3 games. Predators Capitals, 6 p.m. Red Wings Blackhawks. Shout out Chicago. Look out for that, 7 p.m. Golden Knights Oilers, 7:30 p.m. Any other of those games speaking to you, Raven?
Nope.
All right. Let's finish it off with some college men's basketball. Season started yesterday, Monday. Great to see it back. Couple games tonight going on. The ones I want to just briefly run through, and then I'll talk about it. The one I want to talk about last, because it is one of the last. But starting it off tonight, FIU Rice, 6 p.m. That Rice spread at -6.5 looks pretty fucking nice. Evansville, North Texas, 7 p.m. Definitely have the Texas winning, but I also have them covering their spread of -13.5 at -108 odds. Bethune, Texas Tech, 7 p.m. Texas Tech covering their spread, -31.5 at -110 odds. New Orleans, Kansas State, 7 p.m. Kansas State, again, covering their spread. Huge early spread guy. Their spread is -30.5 at -104. 8 p.m. We've got 2 games: Idaho State, Arizona State, and Central Arkansas versus BYU. First game, Idaho State, Arizona State. I'm thinking of taking the over on that. 141.5 total, -110 odds. Second game, Central Arkansas. I think they covered their spread of +33.5 at -110. Cal Poly, San Francisco, 9 p.m. Cal Poly covering their spread of +22.5 at -110 odds. And the last game of the night I want to talk to you about, UC Davis against Washington, 9 p.m. I have UC Davis covering their spread of +14.5 at -104 odds. Although the game's in Seattle, definitely several factors favor Davis covering the spread here. Washington has a new coach and a new roster, which definitely could impact their early season chemistry. Meanwhile, on the other hand, UC Davis boasts strong defense for a Big West team and has that experienced playmaker in Johnson. Losing their 7-footer Bora for the season definitely weakens Davis's front court, but I think Washington's lineup is still a little disjointed. Overall, basically, I'm counting on Davis's defense and Johnson's leadership to keep this game close. Wednesday, there are 37 games. I'm not going to list them all, but here's just a few. Wagner Rutgers starts the night off, 5 p.m. tomorrow night. Them and Mercyhurst versus Morgan State, both at 5. Moving over to 6 p.m., a lot of 6 p.m. games. Sacred Heart, UConn, CSU Northridge Lemoyne, Coppin State High Point, Stonehill Notre Dame, Columbia Villanova, Lehigh Georgetown, Campbell Virginia, 6:30 West Virginia Georgia Tech, 7 Vermont Auburn, Oral Roberts Minnesota, UL Monroe LSU, and last game UT Rio Grande versus Creighton, 8 p.m. I know the season just started, so you might not know very much about this either, Raven. But any thoughts on those Tuesday games I talked about? The Wednesday games didn't have lines, so that's why I didn't mention any lines for those.
No comment. Men's basketball, man. I don't know. I haven't watched anything since
like the
March
championship
Madness
last year. Yeah.
So, I mean, DePaul Blue Devils going all the way this year.
Did you see that game winner last night?
And I were talking about it on Good Morning Hockey, but yeah, that was beautiful. I mean, is it safe to say that DePaul Hoops is back?
Dude, definitely. Oh, great. And by back, you mean can win every other game besides conference games.
Yes, that is exactly what I mean.
Still, yeah. All right. Yes. But to answer your question, yes, that's exactly probably how it's going to go. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Tune in more this Thursday at 11 a.m. on the Alithio Network YouTube page. Also, check out Alithio Network's other shows like Chicago Hockey Radio, Let's Cool One, Good Morning Hockey. They're available everywhere. Audio for Betting the House will be available shortly after the live ends. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or smash 5-star follow ratings and follow on Spotify or Apple Pods. Have a good night, you guys. Enjoy the bets. See you Thursday. Peace.